Hi, welcome to Little Pear Tree tutorial. We're going to show you how to make some cupcake toppers. So firstly, select the size paper you want so that you know what size you're actually working on screen. You need to go and select your image and open it up onto the page you've just created. In this case I'm using Minnie Mouse. You now resize your image to the size you want it. So if you want it 5 centimetres tall, make sure it's 5 centimetres tall on your page. You then need to check your cut, and if it has a cut, if it's a previously used image and it has a cut line around the edge, you need to select no cut, so that there is now no cut line around the edge. You then need to go to your offset window. We're just closing on the image so you can see what we're about to do. Then go to your offset window and click offset. That creates a border around which you can go really big or really small, but we're going to make it about this size. You then click apply when you're happy with the border edge that you've got round your image, and this is where your cut's actually going to be. So from there we do Control A to select both the image and the border. We do duplicate, and then we do flip vertically. We then drag the flipped image above our original image, and we make sure that there's a good overlap of the two borders, but without actually touching the image itself. So as you can see, there's a good overlap between the borders, but it doesn't actually touch. We're then going to do Control A to select everything and open the Align menu, and we're going to align centre, and now everything's central and perfectly above each other. No mistakes, no slightly off to the left or off to the right, it's now all perfect. We're now just selecting just the outside border image, and we've gone to our modify window and we've clicked weld. That's now welded the two border shapes together, and as you can see, there's now a clear gap in the middle. There's no crossing over lines, and the outside borders become all one shape. We can now go to the line colour menu. We can change the outside line colour. You can change this to any colour you want. Really what we want is a colour that's not necessarily going to show too much when we cut it out, but we can see where it is. So I've gone for a relatively dark grey. While you've still got the outside border highlighted or selected, you need to go back to your cut style window and you need to click on cut edge. This has now put a red cut line all the way around your border, as you can see, and this is where your cut line's going to be. This is pretty much now your image ready to be cut out, so you want to print on your registration mark window. You want to click show registration marks, and as you can see, that puts a crosshatch around the top and in the bottom left of your page. These crosshatches mustn't be covered up with your image. Anything that goes into these areas will not be cut out and will not be printed on. Sorry, they will be printed on because your printer will print over it, but they won't be cut out, so there'd be no point printing on it. You then want to go to your duplicate or replicate menu, and from there you want to select your images, so Control A, and then do a row of 3 or a row of 4 to fill the page across without touching the crosshatches. Then you can duplicate it below, and again then do your row of 3 or row of 4 so it goes across the page. If there's still another gap, just duplicate another one to the right. You can duplicate again and spin the image round and fit it into the bottom gap. You can pretty much fit them in how you want, as long as none of the cut lines touch each other or go over each other. The thing to bear in mind here is you can click the fill page bottom that's at the bottom of the menu. However, I found, for example, that doing it with this shape, it only put three of the double images onto the page, whereas here you can see we've got quite a few more than that. So in this instance, where we need the registration marks, and that fill page literally fills the centre of the page, it doesn't really go around the edges, so you can definitely get more on a page if you duplicate your rows or duplicate them individually and move them around yourself. Once you've done this, you're ready to print, so you need to click send to printer. and you need to print it out, and this should now print it out on your printer. And the next image is an image basically of what you should see once you printed it out on your printer. You then need to load this onto your cutting mat, load it into your Silhouette and click Send Silhouette. You'll then get the menu come up that says, that gives you the option to print or skip printing. Well, of course you need to skip printing because you've just printed it. You then get another little message that you just press continue to. And then you get the option for detecting registration marks before cutting. And the options are detect automatically, detect manually, or skip the detection. You want to detect it automatically. Your Silhouette will then run your sheet through. It will do no cuts at this point. It will just literally run the sheet through, picking up where all the images are and where all the cuts are. And once it's done this, you will then be taken to the next screen. The next screen is then your screen with the option to change all your cut settings. So obviously adjust all of this, all your blade and your thickness and your speed, dependent on the paper that you've picked or the cardstock that you've picked. Set this. Once you're happy with this, click cut. Once you've clicked cut and you've carefully peeled off all your items off your mat, the next image shows you an example of the type of thing that you should have once you've taken it off your mat. After you've done that, you'll need to flip your image over, and on the back you need to apply a strip of double-sided sticky tape ready to apply your cocktail stick to. After you've done that, you need to apply your cocktail stick onto the sticky tape that you've just applied and push it on firmly. Then what you need to do is fold the image over so that the backs of the two images are touching, and you need to make sure you line this up very carefully as you do so, because otherwise you'll end up with overlapping edges that are quite noticeable. You need to then press it firmly around the cocktail stick, and the side that doesn't have the sticky tape on will meet with the sticky tape that's showing either side of the cocktail stick, and once it's stuck down firmly, you have your topper complete. These make lovely additions to beautifully iced cupcakes. You could even have a large cake with lots of different characters on it. Either way, we hope you enjoy making these as much as we do, and we hope that this tutorial's helped, and we hope you visit us soon at littlepeartree.blogspot.co.uk.